Hello, everybody. Good evening. Good morning. We're just a little bit before the actual Capricorn full moon. I would say about 25 hours approximately at 12:21 and 10 seconds Finland time, or 10:21:10 GMT. I'm glad you've been able to join us for this pre-full moon webinar. We have been conducting here a week of concentrating on the new group of world servers. This is the festival week of the new group of world servers, and the full moon, as you probably realize, will occur on the last day of the festival, probably in all countries except for New Zealand, where it will be just, I think, a little bit after midnight or so. But no, perhaps it is actually, no, it's actually on the 28th. It is. This has been a very important week for strengthening the hands of the new group of world servers and for identifying as deeply as possible with them, with their mission, realizing ourselves to be one with this intermediary group, which is ultimately the Ajna center of Sanat Kumara, slowly coming into prominence. At this time of crisis in humanity, when so much is at stake during the last coming 12 years of the forerunner period, it is essential that we do all we can to strengthen the ability of this group and all of the specialized groups that derive from it to influence human consciousness and human decisions so that a retrogressive path is not chosen. We all know what the dangers may be. We also know the great opportunities that are present at this period. Many of the structures which are related to Capricorn will disappear because Pluto is in Capricorn, and new ideas can take their place, new and better ideas. We simply need the stability of this loving, serving group in sufficient numbers to swing the tide of public opinion towards a better way, which can lead as harmlessly as possible into the Aquarian age. So tonight, or today, this morning, whatever time it is for you, we will work to align with the very powerful Capricorn energies, the mysterious energies which hold the secret of the soul. This sign of initiation, also of group initiation, also a sign of group progress, the law of group progress, the fifth law of the soul coming under Capricorn as well. So many of us are working in group formation, and we seek to make it possible for these groups to do all the good they can possibly do. And this is a great responsibility for each one of us. Here we have the banner for Capricorn. The true glyph of Capricorn we know cannot yet be given. It lets in too much power, more power than the open pentagram. The DK tells us, and can leave us unprotected unless we know what we're doing. So this will come about before long when we can handle it, perhaps after humanity has taken its first initiation, which will signal the time for the reappearance of Christ. Those two events do go together. The beautiful mantram, lost am I in light supernal, yet on that light I turn my back. There is a greater light available to all human beings who can climb the mountain of karma, who can balance the books in their many lives, who can put their foot upon the material nature and thereby ascend. A great and revelatory light awaits at the top of the mountain. That's just the beginning of the supernal light. All the lights beyond that point are increasingly supernal and represent the blending of the fire of spirit with the fire of soul. And our fire by friction is subsumed within them. The rulers of Capricorn, as depicted here, Saturn, the Orthodox ruler, Saturn, also the hierarchical, no, excuse me, the esoteric ruler, and Venus, the hierarchical ruler, signifying the opportunity of the third initiation. This Jafra illustration shows, in a way, Father Time with his sickle there at the very center of the rock. We can look at this perhaps as a symbol of the cave of initiation. The goat has ascended to the top of the mountain, but we are looking for a still deeper symbol in the unicorn, white and one-pointed, purified and empowered personality, with the forces of the brow center accentuated for all three aspects of divinity. It can direct activity, it can perceive, and it can be used as a weapon, a spiritual weapon. On the top of the mountain, the sun rises. This is the symbol of initiation. We are told that all sun gods are born in Capricorn. You see, interestingly, that it's a sign of great age and yet of infancy, in a way, because the babe in Christ is born at the solstice, and we have entered a period when the new spiritual life can begin to advance and grow toward maturity. And in a way, the personality life becomes very old, a venerable and old character that has gone through much, suffered much, and is old, somewhat wise, and tired, as the Tibetan tells us. But a new form of life is encountered here in Capricorn, and it is the birth of the true spiritual life. And so there's great aspiration, as we see off here in the right-hand corner, towards the possibility of ascent. The spirit must come down into the hardest of all places and penetrate the depths of rocky materiality, and yet at the same time ascend into the heights, a sign of tremendous potential. And for those of us who think of ourselves as members of the new group of world service, always eager to improve our ability to serve, it is a sign of great potential. I know you've been using those potentials during this week, this festival week of the new group of world service, and we still will have days of recognition. We're almost within the 12 hours that precedes the full moon. This is a time of unusual sensitivity to possible contact with the hierarchy. In the days when Master TK was supervising his groups, he always was on the lookout for the possibility of contacting the Chelas during this 12 hours preceding. And other masters do so as well. So let us remain extremely sensitive to the possibility of making that interior contact as we build up our point of tension, moving towards the actual moment of the full moon, a little more than 12, 13 hours from now. We have the illustration from Francis, if I can, yes, okay. This is in the capstone of the pyramid. We see that it is portrayed as transparent. There are a number of symbols here, and I will read from some of Francis's text and refer back to the image periodically. Let's see, we'll go up here. He says, as the sun pauses for a moment on the horizon, we step inside the pyramidion, the capstone of the Great Pyramid. It is, as we see, utterly transparent, and the initiate has ascended to this capstone. One of the most sacred places on earth. A rare moment in the life of a disciple is unfolding before us, and we're quoting here DK. We see here the emergence of the consciousness of the initiate, white and one-pointed, and the defeat of the king of beasts, the personality, the triumph of selflessness and illumination over selfishness. The king of beasts has been blinded and killed by the piercing of his eye and heart with the long horn of the unicorn. And of course, this will signal that we can see more than we could before, and we can feel in love and compassion more than we could before. Thus, we have the theme of this month's full moon image entitled Initiation, the New Unicorn. His victory has taught him to kneel upon the lion's skin. You see that here. Kneeling upon the skin of the slain lion, the lion of personality which has now been conquered. For only when the Capricornian subject, says DK, learns to kneel in all humility and with his knees upon the rocky mountain top, to offer his heart and life to the soul and to human service, can he be permitted to pass through the door of initiation and be entrusted with the secrets of life. Only on his knees can he go through that door. He offers his heart and life to the soul, and by means of a mudra, a sacred hand position. And we see this mudra here. Here's a close-up of it, and that will be described in just a moment. Okay. As the center of gravity shifts from personality to soul, his inner vision opens. The two horns have become the unicorn's great horn of plenty, admitting to the spiritual worlds. It has been occultly said, DK is saying here, that a vision of these powers and their many weaving lines, seen as rivers and streams of light, is given to the initiate from the mountaintop of Capricorn, once that summit has been reached. It is at the transfiguration initiation that this vision appears before the eyes of the astounded disciple. On the altar before our disciple sits the crocodile-headed god Sobek. And here we see that. And perhaps, yes, this is a closer view of this particular deity. The crocodile, the goat, and the unicorn depict three stages of man's spiritual unfoldment in Capricorn, with, of course, the unicorn being the highest. Sobek, with its two horns, the uraeus and solar disk, carries attributes of all these stages. Thus he hastens the dissolution of the outgrown form. When linked with Heru, the falcon-headed principle of spiritual ascension, he becomes a potent transformer, a primal force needed in the preparation for initiation. For this reason, both Sobek and Heru, here depicted as the descending falcon surrounded by the constellation of Capricorn, offer the Ankh, the symbol of life. And here is the falcon descending. I don't know if you can see that, but if you blow up the image, he is carrying the Ankh, and around him the triangular formation of the actual constellation Capricorn. Okay. The mudra itself, the thumb and little finger of our disciple, form the apex of a pyramid. Let's go to that and take another look. Okay. Form the apex of the pyramid, whilst their opposites indicate the pit, the root chakra of the Great Pyramid. The inner three fingers of each hand form a counterclockwise spiral that represent the pyramid's three known ascending spaces: the Queen's Chamber, the Grand Gallery, and the King's Chamber. Okay. And of course, pyramid means fire at the center. This mudra also represents the head center, the heart's deep cave, and the root chakra of the disciple. Thus, this dual meaning, through this dual meaning, he has aligned himself with this great instrument of initiation. As for the vision, we look closely here at this configuration immediately above the mudra. Saturn crowns a mandala of 7 circles, and their interconnecting lines of force represent the 7 sacred planets. Perhaps if this was larger, we could see these interconnecting lines of force. As Saturn rules Capricorn both exoterically and esoterically, you will find it poised above the mudra within a field of green, that is the color of the 3rd ray and of Capricorn, emanating its lines of force in all directions. In the capstone above Saturn, the onrushing eye of Horus meets the, quote, eye that looks out from between the two, thus connecting the micro and the macro cosmic. Okay. And finally, some odds and ends here. The solar logos is illustrated through the use of both the left and right eyes of Horus, thus depicting the level of consciousness beyond duality. Venus, Capricorn's hierarchical ruler, ever the companion of the setting sun, shines from atop the nearby pyramid. We see this off here to the left. And here is the blend of the sun and the eye of Horus. In some ways, 4th initiation symbols are indicated in this illustration. The flight of the falcon from night to day illustrates the momentous passage in Capricorn into the light half of the year, macrocosmically, and this disciple's passage into life, greater life, microcosmically. The image of Horus embossed on the robe of the initiate radiates within a sun that has 51 lines of force, and the sides of the Great Pyramid are set at 51 degrees and 51 minutes. And here it is, with these lines of force and the image of Horus on the back of the initiate. We can, I think, call him the initiate at this point. The white belt indicates the disciple's triumph in the tests of Scorpio, and the rug shows the same mandala of interconnected circles, whose deeper meaning is being revealed to the disciple. We see that. Okay. Symbolism is very rich. And finally, we will say, we will close this, and you can read the rest later. Capricorn. In the perfect example of the influences of Capricorn, head and heart are perfectly balanced. Capricorn admits the soul into conscious participation in the life of that world center we call hierarchy. Capricorn is ever the sign of conclusion, and of this, the mountaintop is frequently the symbol, for it marks the point beyond which further ascent in any particular life is not possible. I'll slowly go over this, so when you receive the video, you can simply study the symbol. Thank you, Francis, for this beautiful and meaningful image and for your comments on it. So now, friends, I think we are ready to begin our important meditation in Capricorn. We are still in the period just at the end of the day of dedication, and we are entering the day of safeguarding 12 hours before, 12 hours following the full moon, receiving and holding the energy that is coming to us. This is an energy which can stimulate especially the head center and the ajna center, and can unite us with the power of hierarchy. And then in the days following, registration, the sense of expectancy, and finally on the third day, following the full moon, the expression of belief, confirming all of the work on the etheric and physical level. So now we will begin. We withdraw our consciousness from the personality and its vehicles, and we enter deeply into the presence of the soul. We discover ourselves as the soul in incarnation. And we find ourselves in the midst of our vehicles, which we do not identify with. They are instrumental to the expression of our soul life. We possess the mechanism but identify as the point of being consciousness. And that point is as if drawn upward and inward until it finds its place within the causal body, within the egoic lotus. And we have entered a truer domain for our identity. And from this point of identification, in the midst of spiritual light, spiritual love, and spiritual power, will, and sacrifice, in the midst of this synthesizing center, we reach out to each other in the state of soul, feeling our group interconnectedness as souls, negating the apparent reality of space and even of time. We are together, united, on the plane of higher mind, plane of soul, and our togetherness in this dimension expands to include all members of the new group of world service, wherever they may be found. We feel our unity with them in soul. They are as if present to us. It is a great lotus field. With all souls reinforcing the qualities of each other. Expanding still more deeply, we include all the men and women of goodwill in all countries where they may be found. And we extend our identification, our inclusion, our subtle relationship to embrace all human beings in the soul aspect. Whether in the body or out of the body, no member of humanity who is not somehow touched in the soul, in this large, embracing sense of group consciousness. One being, one consciousness, many apertures. The second ray mantram applies here. Naught is but me. The great I. Naught is but me. Meditating along these lines. And in the midst of our group, we find the point of tension we call the group mental unit. It will be the point from which we project the bridge of light. We wish to intensify this mental unit, this point of projection, this point of intention, as it is called. We draw down, and from within our soul field, the power of will. Within the fire of mind, focused within the head's clear light, let the group stand. We draw down the will to initiate of the first ray, the will to unify of the second ray, the will to evolve of the third ray, the will to harmonize of the fourth ray, the will to act of the fifth ray, the will to cause of the sixth ray, and the will to express of the seventh ray, into the group mental unit, empowering it to stand as the foundation of the antichironic projection. And in the power of this unit, we draw up all the energies of the personality into magnetic relation with the mental unit, the group mental unit. Each one of us then will enter the stage of visualization, an individual and group visualization. And we will visualize the colors of our personality and soul ray, if we know them, or indigo otherwise. The red of the first ray, the indigo of the second, green of the third, the yellow of the fourth, the orange of the fifth, the rose or blue of the sixth ray, the violet of the seventh ray. Each of us produces a two-colored strand of living light. Using the base as the group mental unit, reaching to the monastic permanent atom, and to each of the triadal permanent atoms, Buddhic, Atmic, bringing in the possibility of intuition and spiritual will, and finally anchoring imaginatively in a blue-white diamond that we relate to the monad, the spirit, being, and to the center Shambhala. We feel the qualities of our own individual bridge, and how these qualities connect us with higher interior realms, anchoring in the blue-white. And now seeing all the many bridges produced by the group, the multicolored, complex, multiple bridge in a cone-like form or extending inward towards the center of the sphere, whichever you prefer. And across this bridge of light, with all the colors of the spectrum, we will project vivid white light. We will use the second ray word of power. I see the greatest light. And while we are doing that mentally 3 times, we will sound the Om on the second ray note, one of them at least, the note G, the blue note. I see the greatest light interiorly pronounced as we sound the Om outwardly, projecting together, opening to our access these higher realms. Oh. we sustain our group bridge of light. And it has given us admittance to the impersonal worlds, the mind of God, the heart of God, and the will of God as manifested on the cosmic physical plane. And now we are as if in touch with these realms. We have attuned ourselves to the world in which the masters focus their attention, where they are polarized. And we want to offer as a group our solidarity, our cooperation, our salutations to the presence of the Great White Brotherhood on these higher levels. At these times we work in cooperation with the inner brotherhood, whose pupils we desire to become as co-creators of the divine plan as it must manifest in the lower worlds. So we will begin to offer our salutations salutations to the Christ, the Master of all masters. Salutations to the triangle of masters with whom we work most closely. Salutations to the Master Morya, the head of all esoteric schools and organizations. Salutations to the Master Kutumi, the coming Christ of the age of Capricorn, the one whose ashram now does most to prepare for the reappearance of the Lord Maitreya. Salutations to the Master Dwal Kul, who has given us the blue books, who trains aspirants for initiation. Salutations to your own Master as you know him to be or conceive him to be. Salutations to the entire spiritual hierarchy of our planet. Group salutations. We stand with solidarity with the elder brothers. We raise our thought as a group, imaginatively, to the center where the will of God is known. And with deepest reverence and in all humility, identified as the group soul, impressed by the higher energies, we seek to attune with the presence of Sanat Kumara, standing at the very center of Shambhala. The Lord who knows the purpose, the highest example of the teaching ray upon our planet, the head of the one fundamental school of occultism in Shambhala. An imagined group attunement with that stream of purpose, will, intention, empowering the group during this time when the first ray is prominent, along with the seventh and third, the heart line, empowering. And inwardly and silently, we sound a long Om, inaudibly, imagining the group imbued with the energy of the King. And so our alignment as a group extends, at least imaginatively, to the heights and down into the personality as well. We realize Shambhala to be the planetary center through which the energies are gathered at this time under the law of assembly. The energies needed by the planet, the energies which we can, in our own way, appropriate at this time. We will now prepare to enter the gold bead indigo disk within the golden sun. There we will imaginatively meet the consciousness of Master DK as we contemplate the great energies available and see them distributed for the benefit of humanity. So before us is the golden sun with the deep indigo disk, the indigo sphere, deep indigo blue. And we as a group are as if a point of light, a point of love, a point of power, all in one. And between us and the indigo sun stretches a long golden path, the symbol of the path that we are all treading, and treading together as a group. And our point, the point that we are, because we are not just personalities now, nor even just souls, we come together as one being. This point is poised above the long golden path leading to the indigo sun. And we sense the path shortening, 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 and we traveling with it, being absorbed into this deep field of indigo blue. The path is drawn in, absorbed into the sphere of indigo, and we are drawn in with it. And here we find the guiding consciousness of Master DK, who has so many students on all the rays, preparing them. Master DK, an expert in the planetary, solar, systemic, and extra-systemic energies. And as we as a group attune ourselves to the available energies, we are as if supported, outposts of his consciousness. So we will now begin to come en rapport as a soul-inspired group with the energies available to us at this time. We will align with the stream of energy emanating from the two planetary rulers of the sign Capricorn. We will align with Saturn, which is both the esoteric and exoteric ruler. It will convey first the discipline to honor all of life's duties and karmic requirements, and as sensitivity to its esoteric influence emerges, it will convey to us the resolve to live according to the laws of the soul, thus fulfilling our specific dharma within the divine plan. We will align with Saturn, and then we will align with Venus, the hierarchical ruler, conveying full illumination of the world of the soul to the eventually transfigured soul in incarnation. Saturn, Venus, and the Sun all meet on the mountaintop. We will try to make these streams of energy real to us in the moment, at this moment. These great gods and their emanations are here now. There is no part of the solar system in which their presence is not found. And their radiation is intensified for us at these moments. So first then, the power of Saturn, the planet of opportunity, spiritual opportunity really, rather than strictly personal opportunity. The power of Saturn to bring both the individual and the group into alignment with karmic law through the exercise of spiritual responsibility, facing the necessary karma, individually, in group, and as humanity, which will bring the opportunity for release when properly balanced. We try to realize that the fulfillment of one's individual responsibilities and later group responsibilities is one of the first indications that one is truly living one's life in the three lower worlds according to the influences of the soul. We ponder on these ideas, the karmic necessities of life, facing them and triumphing over them so that new opportunity may arise. The presence of Saturn, we can visualize the glyph of Saturn in the emerald green, deep green color, and feel this energy pouring into the group and thus into our individual lives. Attempt to feel this. Can bring the power of that glyph into your aura. Giving strength to face difficulty, environing difficulties, circumstantial difficulties. And then we can say with Master Morya, obstacles are possibilities. And we look at our groups, our group and our groups, we will see this power of Saturn flowing into the groups and providing a much needed function. Where is this aspect of Saturn needed? What are the duties that we in our groups must fulfill? What are the responsibilities that we in our groups must uphold? See Saturn's radiation flowing in and making the observance and fulfillment of duty and responsibility well executed. And as we see this happening, we will confirm it, sounding the Om together. So we pay our debts to the lower three worlds, and we execute this payment in the right manner according to the law. Now we will attune with a still higher significance of Saturn, opening the group's sensitivity to higher possibilities. This is the power of Saturn to align the individual in the group with their roles in the divine plan, and thus to ensure responsible conformity to that plan in one's individual and group sphere. This is the realm of Dharma. Realize that as you and the group learn the true meaning of voluntary sacrifice, both will be animated by the source of spiritual will emanating from the Atmic plane, a plane hierarchically ruled by Saturn, who is the instrument of Lord Brahma within our solar system. Sacrifice, the plan, the divine will, right conformity to these higher duties. Esoteric Saturn allowing us to act well our part. Act well our part in the divine plan. Allowing our groups to act well their part in the divine plan. Having the courage to imitate Sanat Kumara, the Ancient of Days, in his Saturnian function, in which he does not leave his post until the last weary pilgrim has found his way home. Learning that type of sacrifice as we uphold our higher duties, our Dharma. Type of spiritual fiber giving strength to stand as the Lord of the world stands. And so we feel this energy pouring into our individual energy system, into the energy system of the group and groups and wider groups, the new group of world servers, fulfilling its Dharma. Where is this energy most needed in our groups? We visualize the pouring in of this energy, transforming, seeing the group filled with the qualities of Saturn, imbued with the divine qualities of Saturn, and thus elevated by those qualities. We see the transformation taking place, the enrichment taking place as we sound the Om. These will now be groups that truly do their duty and are upstanding in the eyes of hierarchy, reliable, trustworthy, responsible. Such individuals we wish to be, such groups we wish to participate in. So we are imbued doubly by the power of Saturn. We breathe it in its green color and quality. Saturn, opener of the door of opportunity. And finally, in this planetary progression, we visualize the beautiful planet Venus, the hierarchical ruler of Capricorn, the power of Venus, especially as it relates to Capricorn, bestowing the quality of pure spiritual love, bringing that love into union with luminous spiritual knowledge, producing wisdom, the union of heart and mind. And all of this realized on the mountaintop within the light supernal, to which has been added the power of the Spirit, as if the Sun and Venus are one in this light supernal. The light and love of the soul fused together. This sublime possibility exists for all of us at this time. Not that we will be initiates of the third degree, but we will touch something of this union of heart and mind, of light and love, this great beauty visioned from the mountaintop, whatever that mountaintop may be for us. Venus revealing the secret of the soul in Capricorn. The fullness of solar angelic energy dawning upon us. This energy released fully into the spiritualized personality. The symbol of soul infusion. A virtually completed soul infusion as Mars is conquered and Venus comes into full radiation. We can breathe in the indigo color often associated with Venus. Sometimes the rose. The reward of all the struggles under Saturn. The supreme beauty of supernal light. This energy, perhaps rarely touched in any degree of fullness, is open to us now, can pour through its beneficent radiation, pouring through the personality. It is a Christ-like energy. In a way, his star is Venus. The secret of the soul, the secret of the Christ, the secret of the new birth into the world of the soul. We breathe it in, we breathe it into our groups. It pours into our groups. We can see its glyph in the color indigo or rose. The higher colors according with the monadic ray of Venus. Venus pours through our groups. Where is it needed? Everywhere. Ensuring that we will work with soul-infused groups, work as soul-infused groups. An important planet also for the new group of world servers ruled by Taurus, conveying the energy of Christ love in so many skillful ways. stimulating the light of the soul, the love of the soul for humanity. And we watch imaginatively the transformative effect of the Venus energy. We will use a particular note associated with Venus, the A. Real energies, not just to talk about and theorize about, but to experience as present. Energies that can be directed to solve problems and bring resolution to many difficult situations. So we have touched, at least imaginatively, the planets connected with Capricorn as rulers on different levels. And now we turn our attention as a group to the great source in our system, the solar logos. We see the sun almost every day, many days a year, if our lives are not overcast. We see the glorious expression of the solar logos in the sun. But so little do we think about the meaning. But here is this great second ray solar logos, the second ray personality, the second ray soul, and perhaps even ultimately, on the highest nomadic level, the second ray, a true heart, a blue logos, the God of love wisdom, pouring the love wisdom to all planets, through Shambhala, through every monad and soul, and into our personality, however attenuated the energy may be, the great love wisdom energy of the blue logos. We attempt to imagine this, feel it, bask in these rays. The blue logos. Monadically, every one of us having his home, at least a temporary home within the solar logos. It permeates us entirely and transformatively conveys the zodiacal energies, the constellational energies, and even the energies of the one about whom naught may be said. We live in the sunshine of this sun. Not yet a major sun like Sirius, but one day a major sun. We attempt to live the solar life. And imbued in this way, we are ready to turn our attention Capricorn specifically, a great triangular constellation. Some of you have seen it. Large, impressive, conveying to humanity the light of initiation. And this, DK tells us, is the light which clears the way to the mountaintop and produces transfiguration, thus revealing the rising sun. How beautiful these words. The the light of initiation. This is the light which clears the way to the mountaintop and produces transfiguration, thus revealing the rising sun. The sun god is born in Capricorn. Each of us is born into the spiritual world in Capricorn. Many of us are entering now the kingdom of God through the birth potentials of Capricorn. All right, the lower part of that kingdom, but still entering together the fifth kingdom, the kingdom of God. The powers of the seventh ray particularly are coming to us through this great constellation, and to disciples the third ray, yes, and also the first ray of law coming to us. And so visualizing the constellation if we can, feeling the light, sensing the rays, we will address ourselves as a group and in alignment with the Antakarana and the higher worlds to the beautiful mantra, lost am I in light supernal, yet on that light I turn my back. Lost am I in light supernal, yet on that light I turn my back. We will ponder together in silence. We have found the supernal light everywhere could be lost in it, and yet, and yet, lost am I in light supernal, yet on that light I turn my back. we hold the alignment, we imagine it from the top to the bottom, as if the energies we are dealing with come from very remote sources, for our purposes emanating from the one about whom naught may be said, from the very hub of the wheel. Passing through the chakras, the constellational chakras of this great being, passing through at this time the constellation Capricorn, passing into the solar logos, and out to the planets so closely associated, Saturn and Venus, and the Earth, finally, Shambhala, and all monads, the hierarchy, and all souls, and into the spiritualized personalities of the group members, anchoring the head, the brow, the throat, the heart, the base of the spine, the supernal energy flows. And we, feeling the intimacy of the group soul, when inspired especially by the great planetary energies above the worlds of form, we look out into our distressed planet. We find the places where there is distress that needs some touch of the supernal light, some presence of the servers who turn their back on the supernal light. Behind the warriors, twixt the light and dark, blazes the light of hierarchy. And we use our creative imagination to see perhaps one situation where the energies available at this time can transform the pattern, the distressed pattern, into a pattern configured with the divine plan. So holding our alignment, we look into the world and focus on a distressed, inharmonious situation. And we will direct the energies of Capricorn, the associated rays, and the planetary potencies into this situation and see improvement, resolution, a better pattern based on right human relations, the theme of Shambhala at this time. And perhaps we will formulate a short inner mantram which we can inwardly sound as we direct these energies on the all. 3 times. These days of distribution, when we are in the energies, following the impact which comes in about 12 hours, let us keep part of our consciousness in this world of the soul, in this world of the fusion of the available energies, directing them into our immediate environment and into the larger sphere of Earth, helping them be received and assimilated so that distressed situations can be improved and slowly brought into line with the intention of the divine plan. From the point of light within the mind of God, let light stream forth into the minds of men. Let light descend on earth. From the point of love within the heart of God, let love stream forth into the hearts of men. May Christ return to earth. From the center where the will of God is known, let purpose guide the little wills of men, the purpose which the masters know and serve. From the center, which we call the race of men, let the plan of love and light work out, and may it seal the door where evil dwells. Let light and love and power restore the plan on earth. Thank you, friends, for attending this pre-full moon webinar, reminding us that at 10:21 and 10 seconds tomorrow morning, GMT Universal Time, it will be the exact moment of the Capricorn full moon. Let our energy intensify until that time. It's very powerful, perhaps one of the most powerful of the full moons. Let us do all we can to stand together in the emanation of the light supernal and transmit that light to all who are in need of it. So, thank you all, and from the group here that is working on the festival week of the New Group of World Servers, they send their love and appreciation also. We will be with you at that time. So bye for now.